Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We bring you stories of faith, love, and devotion. Yeah, just kidding, please help us grow by hitting that like button. Now on to the story. D-Day was today. Never thought I'd be here. Advice. My fiancée, 24F, and I, 28M, have been together for about 5 years. After months of her seeming annoyed, distant, and somewhat secretive with her phone, I say somewhat because of the times this has happened to me before, she hid things very well. I finally prayed it out of her today that she had a one-night stand with a co-worker, unprotected, in the back of a ducking car. To say I'm devastated lacks justice. We have a son who turns 1 tomorrow, and he's the light of my life. I'm so terrified of what his life will be like not ever knowing how his parents were when they were together. To make it simple, I lay out some things that I have done. I had already had a hunch something was wrong for so long. I had terms of reconciliation already made in case that's the route I wanted to go. She left for half the day and I told her to come back so we could attempt to see if she was willing to put in the work to try and salvage our relationship. The terms were: she personally calls the AP's wife and tells her what happened. She tells her mother and father what she did to me and our family. She has spyware placed on her phone until I feel that it is no longer necessary. She cuts contact with AP and any other men she may be talking to. I know of one she casually talks to but recently found out. She is to do one of the following: A. Switch shifts completely, to avoid contact with AP. B. Find a new job. C. Switch departments completely. She will explain, in detail, what happened leading up to and during this affair. She will be honest and truthful about any other affairs, and if there is any hint of trickle-truthing or dishonesty there will be no reconciliation. She read the letter and terms and said she wouldn't do the first, didn't want to feel like she was in jail, etc. I told her the terms were non-negotiable. I will wait for an answer from her tomorrow before I start looking into what needs to be done for custody of our son. It needs to be said that I really do love this woman. Beyond words I am hurt and angry. I kept my cool through this entire process, which was hard, but I did. She accepted that what she did was wrong, but I just don't feel remorse yet. It's really hard to say, but I feel like she was too scared to leave, so she did this to make me force her out. I'm having trouble not focusing on the thoughts and images of another man with her. I don't know him, but I did find his Facebook, and to say he is far more cut and built than I am is an understatement. I feel so less than, so much so that she doesn't know yet that I may not ever bring myself to touch her again because I feel I will always be in the shadow of the night she threw it all away. I guess if anyone here can help, I'd appreciate it. Any advice is also appreciated. I don't mean to sound like an ass, but you need to get a paternity test on your son as well. I've considered this as well. I hate the ducking idea of him not being mine, but I understand the implications. Even if you know the child is yours, a paternity test is a physical representation to your WP of how devastated you are and how much trust is lost. If you don't feel like you want to know the answer, then don't do it. I have my suspicions about my second daughter, but I just don't want to know. Seems like you did a good job in laying down the guidance for reconciliation. She chose to cheat on you and your son, so it's in her hands for reconciliation. Don't waver, stick to your plan. She immediately chose AP's feelings over OP right out of the chute. Not good at all. Reading this, I don't believe this was an ERNS. Months of being off, and it was one time in a car? You are right. I found out it was at least 3 occasions. I will continue to grill her about it until I find out every detail. I still believe there's more. Today I am putting things aside for the sake of my son. It's his first birthday and I am going to make sure it's a good one. As someone that dealt with a similarly acting cheater, cut bait now. She immediately shot down the first thing you mandated. She doesn't want to break up with her AP. You might want to record your conversation the next time you try to get info out of her. That way you'll have her on tape admitting to the affair. Good luck, friend. Your son is number 1 now. I told her we are done. An update to a previous post. Update. I'm posting this from a throwaway because my now ex-fiancée knows my main account, which is u/redsignerbox, and I know she's not good at navigating Reddit, so I doubt she'll see this, but if she does, it's okay. If you need the backstory, please visit that account and you'll see it in the post history. We have been working on reconciliation. She refused to quit her job or at least change shifts to be completely off a schedule where they would work together. She still refuses to this day. She would tell me that she doesn't talk to him, and that they do not work in the same departments. None of any of that put me at ease. The nights she was at work have been absolute hell for me. I can't sleep, my adrenaline runs non-stop, I constantly text her and ask who she's with, I want her to prove it, etc. etc. A couple of weeks ago I found a book that was something along the lines of X Steps to Power, and after briefly reading the back I realized it was essentially a book that aims to give its readers the tools needed to manipulate people. I knew this was something she would never read, so I asked her where it came from and she said her AP. I told her I would throw it away for her and she stopped me and said she would have her work friend give it back to him. I just shut down. I was so tired of having to explain to her that she shouldn't concern herself with her AP. He's going through a divorce and probably losing everything he's worked for with his wife because of what they did. I'm sure the absolute last thing he was worried about was a $25 book, but she just had to make sure he got it back. She went to work that weekend following. When was done with her work week, I asked her to leave. I told her that it doesn't feel at all like she wants to put forth the effort and the work for reconciliation, and I needed some space to think about things. It was essentially a separation under the understanding we were not split up yet. She agreed and left the following day. During this discussion she was very upset, and I explained the book thing and how she wouldn't quit her job, and she said she understood. She also told me that her AP had told her friend from work that he was upset with her for telling me everything. I kind of scoffed and said it should be pretty telling what he thinks of you if that's true. The following days were extremely tough for me. I had waves of anger, waves of resentment, and the obvious questions of, is she talking to him? Is she talking to someone else? Aside from all that, the feeling of missing her and most of all my son was extremely difficult. When she left I cried and cried while holding my boy. I felt like I'd never see him again. And the days following were that feeling x100. I asked her to come back after a week. I'd hoped I could start moving forward in a positive manner, and I tried. Things were okay, we were intimate. I still feel like I wanted to be intimate for the wrong reasons, and she also felt that way. Fast forward to about a few days ago, I was feeling so disrespected and angry about her not quitting her job or getting her STD testing done. I thought to myself, if it was one time and she told me out of the guilt she felt and the fear of losing me, I could forgive and move on, but no, it was 3 more times where she went back. 3 more times where she left me at home with our son and didn't care about me or my love. I also found out she was in his home, and before that time and before I had found out, I sat her down and told her if she wasn't happy I wouldn't hate her for leaving. This conversation happened in the middle of her affair. We cried and she told me that she didn't want to leave and that she loved me and wanted to stay. After I gave her a chance to leave, she didn't and still went out a week or 2 later and slept with him. If that isn't the most disrespectful kick in the teeth I've ever gotten, I don't know what is. So we had it out. She said that she, again, won't quit, and that she figured since I got tested and was clear she didn't need to. I told her it was those conditions or she needed to leave. It divulged into the same type of situation where she left and we were still together. So Friday she asked me to stay for dinner at her mom's before taking our son back to my house. I did, and things were good. She seemed happy to see me and seemed like she wanted to be affectionate to me. Later we had some time alone and we talked. I asked her to make sure that we were not seeing other people. She said she didn't want to, but threw in some wording that for her, if it happened it happened. That stung more than I thought. She then said that she wanted to continue to stay at her mom's to find herself, and she's enjoying her independence and has considered looking into getting her own place. I told her that was a very different thing than what was happening now, and she said she knew. I also expressed that I was not okay with seeing other people and that if that happened we needed to tell each other so we knew it was over. I took my boy and headed home and it didn't bother me as much, it didn't hurt and stuck with me like I thought. I missed her. I shot one last shot after I laid my son down for bed to see if I could find an ounce of her truly showing me that she wants to chase me and not the other way around, and I didn't get it. So last night I went out with some friends and I genuinely had a great night. I didn't think about her, I didn't concern myself with what was happening while I wasn't around, I was just lost in the chatter catching up with people I hadn't spent quality time with in years. Last night I realized I don't deserve to give any more of myself to the person I gave everything I had to. I don't deserve to wonder every night, and I don't deserve to feel so wrong about something that was not my fault. She has had a lot of very bad things happen to her in the past year and a half, with her best friend and oldest brother passing away. I don't doubt or discredit that she was not in the best of headspace, but I'm tired of people using that as an excuse for what she did to me and our family. There is no excuse for this. So I told her I was done. I laid down some ground rules for co-parenting and we are having a discussion about custody with our son soon. I have no desire for a nasty battle with her and I genuinely feel she does not either. My son deserves to be with his mother all the same as me, and that's not something I will try and take away from her so long as she doesn't with me. I am currently still looking for a good counselor. I live in a very rural area and unless I want to drive a lot I may have to go a different route via online or something of the sort. Today has been so good. My son and I have been playing trucks together, he's showing me how good he can get up and down off the furniture, and he's also trying to talk and keeps trying to say fishy because he has a bunch of little toys that are magnetic fish with a little fishing pole he loves to play with. I am financially very ducked. I have a lot to figure out to be able to maintain my lifestyle and keep my house. Bankruptcy is something that is on the table, but I don't plan on going that route unless I absolutely have to. We were not overextended by any means before, but after taking my dream job I also took a substantial pay cut to start, and I trusted her enough to give up my financial freedom with her help to pursue my dream, and it burned me. I won't quit the job, I'll figure something out. It's times like these I wish I was like Pip from Great Expectations and had some mysterious benefactor to help, but that's not the real world, that's not how that works. Also to add, I've decided against a paternity test for my son. Even if he wasn't mine, he is mine and always will be. He's one of the biggest factors helping me move forward, and I love him too much to let the possibility of her hurting me more by finding out he's not my blood to even consider what I would do after finding that out. I would like to sincerely thank all of you who have given words of advice or will give more words on this post. Those of you who reached out to PM me also, thank you for your support. I'm excited to see what the future holds. I still have my bad days, I still have my days where I miss her, but now I feel like I've made the first big step in moving forward and starting my life over. You should want to get a test done for legal reasons. Don't want to be surprised by it later. You don't need to tell anyone, but it's best to be safe. Or medical reasons. You don't have to tell anyone the results. But you don't want to find out when someone else tries to claim him or he is in a hospital needing blood or a transplant. This has been brought up multiple times. While I genuinely don't believe he isn't mine, I think you all are right and I will have the test done. No matter what, he is obviously yours. You just need to do what is best to know how to best protect him if an emergency happens. While I genuinely don't believe he isn't mine, I think you all are right and I will have the test done. If he is 100%, without question yours, you want to have those test results in hand in case your ex tries to play head games with you. I genuinely don't believe he isn't mine. He is your son. Whether he is genetically related to you is irrelevant to that, but crucial knowledge going forward. A lot of medical stuff depends on a proper family history. I read your post on your other account, as well as here Chuckit 5150. I don't have any advice for you because you're doing the only thing that makes sense. She isn't willing to put in the work to make it work with you because she isn't in love with you. She's moved on. I'm sorry. It really sucks. But you're doing the right thing by breaking up. If you tried to make it work, you would fail. Painfully and pathetically. The pick-me dance is a sad look. By choosing to end it, you took back your power. The next step is to focus on building a happy, meaningful life with your son. You can only focus on one thing at a time. Direct your energy towards a positive outcome. Godspeed. Everything you just said spoke to me on a very different level. Especially about the pick-me-up dance. Thank you for your kind words. You absolutely should put your guard up and not trust this duplicitous person. Get the best lawyer you can. Get out in front of the story. Be strong. It sucks, but now is the time to protect yourself. If your wife has no remorse, trying to reconcile her betrayal is impossible. Her unwillingness to quit her job and/or cut contact with the guy is a clear sign of no remorse. If you haven't already, contact a lawyer to understand your options and what a divorce would look like for you. Stay focused on your son and your own best interests. Your wife certainly isn't. Good luck. Stand tall and keep moving forward as best you can. We are not married. But thank you for the words. We hope that by sharing these stories with interested folks like you, we can help people recognize the signs of a relationship in trouble, and avoid so many of these heartbreaking situations yourselves. Have a good day or night. Wherever you are,